I hate this show. Hate it for melting my icy heart. Hate it for being so wholesome, genuine, and heartfelt. Hate it because it actually gave me pause for just a moment where I asked myself, hold on, do I want to be a father after all? Damn you, Bluey, damn you! Now, y'all are probably like, wait, this guy watched Bluey and doesn't have kids? That's weird! Yeah, I did, and I unironically love this show. Look, I've seen all of the hype for it on Twitter, and I finally get it.
Oh my God. I get it.
Bluey, a preschool animated show about a family of Australian dogs, has exploded in popularity these past few years, and especially as of late. It really took off when Disney acquired international broadcasting rights to Bluey and put the series up on Disney+, though said distribution came with some noticeable changes. Original scenes from the Australian version of Bluey were censored or altered for international audiences, which is just wild to think about for a cartoon that's intended for preschoolers. Yeah, you think the uncensored cuts of South Park are brutal? Get back to me when you watch Bluey Uncensored. No, stop the joke edit, all right? This show is too pure to corrupt with my dumb jokes. Again, it's surprising to see censored or altered scenes in a cartoon for little kids. But I guess that just goes to show how even benign cultural differences between countries can still lead to various versions of a show. Australians are a lot more comfortable in their skin with their sense of humor, especially when it comes to groin hits and fart jokes. But for Disney, not so much. Speaking of groins, there's even an alternate version of a scene where Bandit, Bluey's dad, is alluding to getting a vasectomy, but the American version has a different exchange entirely. There's a surprising amount of edits and omissions in the American, or at least Disney version of Bluey, which I personally believe is just Disney overreacting and playing it super safe. But this is par for the course when it comes to Disney and its standards and practices. I mean, just ask Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, about his own experiences with Disney censors. But what surprised me the most of all was that there were allegedly some banned episodes of Bluey, just flat out missing from Disney+, with many suspecting that it was due to Disney removing what they perceived as sensitive subject matters, like farting or talking about how babies are born. I don't really care for fart humor, but come on, Disney, this is so benign. So yeah, this is my excuse to just gush about Bluey, and how this is one of the most nuanced kids shows I've ever seen, and how it's even too raw and untamed for Disney. Bluey was created by Joe Brum, who was inspired by his own 2 daughters and his experience raising them. He wanted a show that leaned into the imaginative power of children, and also the dynamic said kids share with their parents. Also, this was apparently Australia's answer to Peppa Pig, which, I'm totally here for. Instead of pigs, we have Australian cattle dogs, which some of said breed sport a blue coat, hence the name Bluey. Out of the way, Blue. There's a new kid's dog in town. Actually, they'd probably be the best of friends. Why can't she talk at all? In 2016, a 1-minute pilot for Bluey was released. I gotta say, the vision of the pilot wasn't very different from the series that would follow. Usually when it comes to pilots, they just try to get their point across, but also see some drastic changes along the way to becoming a full-fledged series. But that wasn't really the case for Bluey. Eventually, Bluey would be picked up by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation and also BBC, and even got additional funding from Screen Australia and Screen Queensland, since the series represents Australia. In 2017, BBC ordered 52 episodes of Bluey. The series was officially greenlit, and Ludo Studios, the Australian animation company behind Bluey's production, got to work. The main character of the show is, unsurprisingly, Bluey, though it never feels like she dominates the entire series. She's giggly, energetic, inquisitive, and has a heck of an imagination. I feel the same can also be said for her little sister, Bingo. Though Bingo is a little more passive and usually rolls with Bluey's more assertive, sometimes bossy personality. It is a great big little sister dynamic that provides many episodes of the two not seeing eye to eye, but finding a solution by talking to one another. They work it out. Of course, this is usually done via parenting by the parents, Bandit and Chili. Something that is very unique about the show is that both parents have jobs, which is like much more common nowadays for actual parents compared to just a few decades ago. I like that representation. Good stuff. Bandit is goofy, loving, attentive, but also makes his own mistakes. There's an episode where he plays too rough with Bingo, which leads to Bingo summoning her courage to tell her dad how she truly feels. It's really sweet, I love it. Then there's Chili, just as loving and attentive, but not nearly as silly. Though that does not mean she doesn't have her own funs with the kids. And of course, there's a bunch of side characters that range from friends, to neighbors, to extended family. Muffin here? Oh, Muffin cracks me up the most. That kid just kills it with their voice acting. As a matter of fact, all of these kid characters have kid voice actors, which just makes the show that much more authentic. Having kid characters ask kid questions via kid voice actors really punches up the immersion of the show. You know, the show about talking dogs living in Australia. Also, the voice actor for Bandit, Dave McCormack, well, the guy sounds a lot like the Australian version of Charlie Day. I swear, just listen, it's eerily similar.
Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia! So I say to myself, I gotta find this guy. I gotta go up to his office, I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands, otherwise he's never gonna get it, he's gonna keep coming back down here. Little ratbags.
The voice acting is top-notch. And the music? Oh, it is fantastic. Joff Bush is the main composer of the series, and according to him, each episode of Bluey has its own unique musical style, which is just crazy to think about. A wonderful blend of the series having an overall familiar sound, yet sporting a distinct composition in each episode. Oh, and the animation. The character designs are great. Cute, effective, and memorable, and a broad variety of expressions and movement. And all done via puppet animation. Hell, there's even an episode that gets meta with it. But these backgrounds, oh, they are just something else. The vibrant pastel colors and details provide this polished style that's crisp and pleasing to the eye. And it all coalesces with the overall writing, themes, and music of the show. But the biggest thing to me, though, is that the characters and their stories come from such a genuine place. The writers for Bluey are sharing their own personal experiences or observations when it comes to kids and being adults. According to a source, the episode Bike has a kid trying to put on a backpack, but fails to do so and just spins around. But apparently, this was an actual moment that Joe saw in real life. He saw a kid trying to put the loop on its backpack and failed. And you know what? Bam, it's in the episode. It's like what they say, write what you know. And Bluey absolutely does that. This level of sincerity is why so many people love the show for its comfort and good vibes. Actually, it kind of reminds me of Rugrats, where in that show, where it stars babies and was intended for kids, well, there were still plenty of jokes about adults and humor that went over my kid head. I'm actually rewatching Rugrats right now, and I gotta say, a lot of these jokes just hit different now because I'm an adult.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
Because I've lost control of my life.
My buddy Jim, who helped me with this video, actually has kids, and gave me some wonderful perspective on his own experience with Bluey. He said that it's nice to have a show he can watch with his kids that does not annoy him. That most parents, unsurprisingly, would prefer something they can watch with their kids. A show that teaches kids lessons about being comfortable and understanding smaller issues. A show that is colorful and eye-catching and can use the power of animation to demonstrate the magic of childhood via the perspective of a child's imagination. He says that the show has a positive energy that is very much so welcome and highlights the simplicity of childhood memories. Hey, maybe that's a big reason why so many adults who don't have kids enjoy the show. It takes them back. It allows them to reminisce in comfort and rediscover how endearing our childhoods could be. There's an episode where Bandit tells a story about being a kid to Bluey and Bingo, and how he grew up in the 80s, how it was a different time, yet shares the same childlike bonds with his siblings as his daughters do with one another. Great stuff. Also, 1980s, long ago, oh my god, am I old. But I gotta say, I was very surprised to discover that some parents take issue with the show, saying that the dog parents provide unrealistic expectations of tending to their own kids. Like, yo, I can't be Bandit and Chili, I can't. They're just too good. These are unfair expectations to put upon me. For me, I can't comment on that. I got no kids. But according to Jim, he said, quote, "A lot of the appeal of Bluey is the idea that parents can do that. As most parents have to work a lot, it's an appealing fantasy. Maybe that it is sad that it is a fantasy. But I think parents want to believe that they can play with their kids and have a great time and have the time to do it. End quote. By the way, go follow Jim. He's awesome. He's always been a helpful guy, a great movie critic, very chill. Go check him out. Go subscribe. Also, he told me that even his kids and other kids he saw at the playgrounds have been using the vocabulary from the show. Saying things like, using my big girl bark, just so they can express themselves. Uh-oh, it's Peppa Pig all over again. American kids are gonna start sounding Australian. But hey, if you want to learn an actual other language, I recommend the sponsor of this video, Babbel. Boom! Out of nowhere with the sponsor. We'll make this quick. What's Babbel, you ask? Well, it's one of the top language learning apps in the world. Its intuitive lessons helps you learn a language through real-life conversations. For me, I wanted to use Babbel to enrich my last 2 brain cells. You know, the ones that are like full of useless cartoon trivia. So I decided to dig my teeth into the Spanish language. Also, Lord knows I need help with enunciating words better in my videos. The premise is about this human girl named Luz. Babbel has lessons that are designed by real language teachers, with the goal of helping you to speak a new language in 3 weeks. Like actual real-world conversations that you can use for travel, business, relationships, day-to-day conversation, and more. Again, for me, it was Spanish. Hola, me llamo Saberspark. Soy mala en decir palabras? Guys, I'm legit trying, I really am. But Babbel is very useful and helpful, and I am going to keep at it. One of my life goals is to be bilingual, and Babbel is a huge help on that journey. So, go check out Babbel today. Click the link in the description down below to get 60% off your subscription. Use it on your phone, your tablet, your desktop, anywhere, and start your own language learning journey today. Now, back to Bluey. Genuine question. Are there Outback steakhouses in Australia? Or is that like just a cardinal sin to their people? I'd imagine the latter of the two.
Could you tell me what the special is?
I'm not sure. I'll check with the chef. Hey, chef! What? What's the special? The what?
By the way, massive props to Bluey for sharing the beautiful world and perspective of Australia without having to rely on stereotypes. It was always a celebration, never punching down. Another wonderful strength of the show. I could totally see why Bluey is so popular with so many people. Popular enough for certain mouths to acquire it for distribution and make some changes.
All right, now get out there and make me some goddamn money.
Like I said at the start of the video, Disney acquired the international distribution rights of Bluey in 2019. All 3 seasons currently total around 141 episodes and can be viewed on Disney+, except for 2. Dad Baby and Teasing. Though there used to be 2 other episodes unavailable, Family Meeting and Smoochy Kiss. Though both are now available on Disney Plus as of recording this video. Needless to say, I was surprised to learn about the censored content in Bluey, and immediately had to find out exactly what was changed and why. I was also surprised that some episodes weren't initially on Disney Plus, with many rumors saying that said episodes were banned. Though, after doing my own research and talking to Jim, these supposedly banned episodes might be folks jumping to a conclusion, though I don't blame them for it. I mean, some of these censored and edited moments in the Disney version of Bluey are, quite silly. I don't get it. How about these backpackers? And how one of them says I'm from Argentina and the other one from France. And the Disney Plus version, it's just Argentina. France has dropped out. I don't know why, that's kind of weird, right? And of course, there's the infamous pony poop scene, and how that was just completely removed. Disney is weird with their censorship, and typically takes an overreactive approach in order to play it safe. Oh no, we can't have this dog coming from France. That's the other F word, remove it. And of course, ponies don't poop. You know, let's just block that completely.
What you gonna do with all that poop? All that poop? Yeah.
There are also some other censors, such as FaceTime, and how there's like this iPad scene with the characters running around the house, and how in the background you can see one of the adults on the toilet. Yeah, that was edited here on Disney Plus. And you also got SCA Disney, who's like, we're gonna have our own respective censors here. Bandit says curse you? Nah, we're cutting that. I don't know why. I guess curses aren't allowed. Harry Potter got to SCA. I don't know. Go figure. I just don't. I don't know. But for the perceived banned episodes, many thought it was Disney's standards and practices doing what they do best, being overly sensitive. Family Meeting was not on Disney Plus initially, but now is. Why? Why would it be banned? Because the entire episode, its concept is just Bandit being in trouble for allegedly farting on Bluey by mistake. That's it. And then they're hosting a mock court to find out. I don't see anything offensive here, like nothing at all. Again, the episode is back on Disney Plus, so maybe it was more of a distribution problem and not censorship? Who can say? Another episode includes Smoochy Kiss. This episode is about Bluey and Bingo keeping Bandit away from Chili, so he can't get a kiss. Oh, I guess that was a little too raunchy for Disney Plus, right? But again, it's back up on the streaming service, no edits, so, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't banned at all, it was just some other mistake. But the two episodes that aren't on Disney Plus currently are Dad Baby and Teasing. Teasing got dropped by Disney Plus because the original episode included the word Ooga Booga, which can be viewed as racially insensitive to some viewers. Of course, this was not intentional. Bluey did not say, "I choose racism this morning," and put it in the show. It was just a misunderstanding, and the kids saying silly words while singing. That was it. The words were changed to ooh ooh in that episode, along with another episode where they said Ooga Booga by mistake and switched that to ooh ooh as well. Which is weird because the episode that also included that is on Disney Plus, but Teasing here is not. It's not on Plus. Okay. Apparently, some ABC official back in 2020 commented saying it was an unintentional mistake and that they would fix it, which they have for TV, but not for Plus. So, yeah, recap. Teasing is not on Disney Plus, but it is on Disney Junior channel. And then the other episode with Ooga Booga that has been fixed, that is on Plus, channel, and Junior. So I don't quite understand the, logistics here. And then there's Dad Baby, an episode where Bandit wears a harness and pretends to carry Bingo like he's pregnant. Bandit gets some perspective of how tough being pretend pregnant can be, and even gives birth to Bingo in a pool. Apparently, the subject matter in this episode was a bit much for Disney Plus, and they would rather avoid it, which is also the case for Disney Channel and Junior too. Now, as much as I would love to rip into Disney and their standards and practices, I feel inclined to maintain a speculative stance when it comes to the presumed banned episodes of Bluey on Disney Plus. Does Disney get weird with their censors? Yes. Do they have a track record of bizarre logic and reasoning behind their motives? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Is this the case for the missing episodes of Bluey? Well, it's hard to say. There are no official statements from Disney saying one way or the other. And it's entirely possible that this is more of a licensing, distribution issue rather than one about censorship. I mean, both Smoochy Kiss and Family Meeting are back on Disney Plus, and the Teasing episode airs on Disney Channel and Junior. Is it possible that this missing episode is just human error? I mean, Lord knows how many streaming services mess up adding and removing and organizing episodes of shows on their platforms. Despite the precedent of altered or omitted scenes in Bluey episodes on Disney, I think saying that these episodes are just officially banned might be a bit too hasty. We either need an official statement from Disney, or we need time to prove that these speculations are correct. I mean, hey, I ban all of Bluey. Look, they're not wearing clothes. This is obviously gross. Censor it all. Take it all down, please. Oh, you know what? No. When am I going to get my Family Guy crossover with Uncle Brian? You know, the brother of Bandit. Come on, Disney. You own Family Guy now. Make it happen. Look out, Bluey! No! Why did we make this edit? This is too dark. Cut to black. Overall, Bluey is a fantastic show that has broad appeal due to its quality and sincerity. There is a reason why adults enjoy it. Because it was made for families. Both kids and adults. Now, this might come as a shock to some people, but believe it or not, adults actually made this show. Right? It's crazy to think about. Adults who were once kids. Adults who might have kids. Adults who made the choice to create something that is just good. Yes, the primary demographic of Bluey is young children, but the series was made with family at heart. Something that many of us can relate to, even for adults who don't have kids. An episode in particular that truly demonstrates the nuance of Bluey's writing is Onesies. It's about Chili's sister, Brandy, coming to visit the kids for the first time in 4 years. For adults, you can immediately tell that Brandy is uncomfortable about something, though it's subtle enough for kids to not truly understand the gravitas of the situation. Though to be fair, Bluey can tell that something is up. Again, children can be surprisingly perceptive, which is something I really appreciate they include in the show. For Brandy, she kept her distance for years because she failed to have a child of her own. And I imagine that the idea of being around her sister's kids was too painful for her to bear. Until now. There's also a great metaphor about the cheetah onesie not fitting Bluey, even though she wants it to, and how her mom said it's not meant to be. Pretty obvious this is alluding to Brandy and her respective situation. At the end, Brandy makes peace, makes up with her sister, and embraces the next chapter of her life. A beautiful message for both kids and adults that does not ignore either demographic. Bluey could inquire about the situation with Brandy, while Brandy herself could find comfort in her sister in regards to a grown-up problem. Just absolutely outstanding. Well done. All in all, we adults put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be adults and sway ourselves away from anything that might give the impression that we are immature or emotionally stunted. But I think that's a warped way of thinking. Will adults be sitting on the edge of their seats while watching Barney the dinosaur? No. Will kids understand the emotional weight of whiplash? Probably not. But do middle grounds exist where both demographics can enjoy themselves? Absolutely. And there's no shame in that. As a matter of fact, some of the most timeless films in movie history fall into that category. Toy Story, Shrek, Spirited Away. All of these were created with the intention of just being good, regardless of the demographic watching. Bluey here takes the same approach, which is why it is such a successful and widely celebrated show. So folks, I highly recommend Bluey. It's honestly a fantastic comfort show that I like to put on the background, and it gives me the occasional chuckle with its writing. Sincere characters, wonderful themes and stories, and visually gorgeous. It's a show with genuine conviction from artists giving it their best, and I respect the hell out of that. And I will take it over CoComelon 1,000,000 times over. Hopefully, Bluey won't run into any more censorship nonsense from Disney, and it can provide its creativity to the world for years to come. No, Bluey. I love how they say no. Man, my accent sucks. Bluey!